This week's video is an April journal spread, painting and writing in this sketchbook and sharing some positive thoughts. I do a page every month and it's really filling up, and if you want to relax with paper and paint, if you love writing in your journal, then hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. I've got lots more ideas to share. My painting today is inspired by Creations CC. I'm sure that many of you know her. I'm using watercolour paper and paint, and I'll talk you through all the details of these supplies as we go along. I'm hoping to provide just a little inspiration today and a calming space for you in these challenging times. So grab your own supplies, make yourself a drink, get comfy, and let's create a really positive spread. I have some cold press watercolour paper here. I've rounded a couple of the corners just to add a bit of interest before we start, and I've chosen a palette of 4 fairly neutral shades from olive green through to a beautiful shade of rose here, and also some greys and blacks on the end in gouache. So I'll tell you a little bit more about those as we go through. I have a nice clean pot of water here, and I begin by making a relatively dilute mix of one of the colours. I've chosen to start with mauve in a watercolour tube, so this is Arteza watercolour, and what I'm doing today is creating a scene of houses along the theme of stay at home, which is really important to us all today. And it really couldn't be easier. I simply load up the brush with some of that gorgeous colour, and I love the way it glistens with the bright lights here, and just making some rectangular marks. The second colour I'm using today is this beautiful olive green, a very natural colour I think, and it goes well with that mauve. It's relatively gentle. I'm just mixing up some verticals and horizontals, and I'm also switching up the size of brush, just going down a scale a little bit here. At this point in the process I'm really enjoying myself. I'm spreading out the marks on the paper, and for some of them I'm just overlapping the colours a little bit, and that's absolutely fine. I think that works well when we come to convert them into little houses. I'm moving on to a third colour, which is this stunning, I think, a cranberry colour. It's called Rose. So again, creating a bit of a diluted mix and overlapping some of the existing rectangles, just dotting a few of those around the paper. It's got a beautiful shade of pink underlying that one. And the fourth colour that I'm using today is Burnt Sienna, which I think works really well with both that rose and the green. Using the smaller brush again, nothing too scientific, just have fun. I think you could probably do this with some watercolour pencils as well. And these are the basic houses that we're going to paint with roofs and add windows and doors. So I'm mixing up some gouache paint in some darker shades in noir, titanium white and grey, and I'm going to use those to begin with to add a variety of different types of roof to each of the houses. And there's something, as CC says, something whimsical about the shapes of some of these. The first one is a very simple flat roof, but I'm also going to add, and I really like, probably my favourite, is these somewhat fairy tale pointed roofs, so triangular with a point at the top. And I think I'll add another one of those over here, so I'm trying to really work from left to right, hopefully to make less paint sit on my hand at the end of the day. I'm adding a little roof to one or two of them. Maybe I'll do another of those flat roofs. Just pick and choose a variety of shapes and work across the page from left to right. Take your time, maybe put on some music, maybe light a candle and have some real atmosphere, something really calming in your craft room. Creations CC does some wonderful watercolour doodles, and I just thought this one would be particularly appropriate for, I guess, the way we're living at the moment, and hopefully in not too long the concept of stay at home won't be with us, but while it is, I thought I would create a journal spread today that goes with the theme stay at home, because it's just so important for us at the moment to do that and to save lives. If you're staying at home today, or even just limiting your travel, then let me know what you're doing in your craft room. Are you painting? Are you drawing? Are you writing? What are you doing that's peaceful, calming and relaxing in your craft room? Drop me a comment down below. I'm just working to the right hand side now, adding a few more of those roofs, and I'm adding some so that they look like they're in front of others or behind, like this one here, and that really does help to give it a sense of, I think, 3D and maybe houses that are on the side of a hill. So now we have the basics done, and it really is as easy as that. So I can move on to adding the doors and windows. And because I want a little bit more precision in painting the doors and windows, I've switched my brush up here, and I'm using a slightly firmer set of bristles. You might like to choose something with a smaller brush head. I'm just mixing up a pale but relatively thick gouache here in a grey, so that's titanium white and the grey, and this is being used to put on doors in lots of different shapes and also windows. So it feels to me like I want to add something it's definitely not what you'd find in England, something a little bit more romantic, a bit more fairy tale about the doors and windows. Just take your time. Again, I'm working left to right, dotting the windows on where I want. That's got quite a tall door, quite like that one. I think it comes across quite well. You can see the doors very well on their darker shades, so particularly on the mauve. Think about putting the doors to the right of the buildings. It doesn't always need to be plumb centre. So just a little bit of a dab here, a little bit of a daub. That one there, the big one, I think feels really nice. It feels like there might be a little bit of a road to the left of that mauve one, between the mauve and the green. And we're going to add some shading a bit later too, just to help give it some land, let the houses just sit on something. I'm adding some texture and interest to the roofs in the form of dots and some lines, just as straight as you can make them. They really, really don't need to be perfect, and they don't even need to be regular. Just cast your brush across the roof and see what comes off the bristles. I'm sure it will be perfect. Just adding a few dots here on that pointed roof, working my way around, doing whatever I feel I want to do, and that's exactly what this is about. Let's use our craft time to get absorbed and just enjoy every minute of playing with paper and paint. In my junk journal last year, I did a few spreads with watercolour doodles. I'll put a link to some of those in the description box down below. They're really, really a lot of fun, and I think watercolour doodling is just one of the best ways to pass the time, an easy, pleasant way to just escape perhaps from some of the realities of the world. I'm using a little bit of the rose in with the titanium white, the grey and the black, and I'm creating a rather dilute mix to use for shading in front of each of the houses. So I'm bringing my brush, swiping it down just gently from the house to the left, so feeling like the light is catching in one particular direction, working my way around the paper and just adding a little bit to the page. So not covering all of the paper, but just a little bit, so you feel like each of those houses is just nestling on the side of a hill. Maybe it's a little village somewhere. So add as much as you like, and this is our focal point ready to put in our journal, and it really is as easy as that. I hope you have a go, and if you do, then definitely take a picture, share it on Instagram, tag me, put it on Facebook. I would love to see it. Let me know what you're going to do. And just before I stick it in the journal, before it goes in the sketchbook, I'm adding a complementary bit of whimsy in the form of dots and dashes. It's a border that's quick and easy to do, and I think it goes with the fairy tale style, the theme of the picture. So it needs a goodly amount of glue on here because it's a rather firm piece of paper, and I do want it to stay nice and flat. So my Pritt stick of glue is doing all the work that I need it to do here. And now it's a time I really do enjoy by putting words on a page that allow me to get something out, get it down on paper, and maybe share some positive thoughts and actions that I've been finding are helpful with you. I did something a little bit similar in last month's journal spread, so around the hashtag Be Kind, and in February the theme of being calm was something that I wanted to bring out. So each month I've just been putting some of these positive, calm and enjoyable, hopefully, spreads together, and I just hope that you're enjoying them too. If you've got suggestions for things that you might want me to do, I'd also love to hear those, so definitely put a comment in the box down below. And I start decorating the page using simply the days of the month, and I find that ticking off some of these days makes me feel like we really are moving forwards, and that's one of the actions that help me feel more in control and feel better as a result. And here I'm journaling about 3 specific things that I found helpful, 3 actions that help me get some of that sense of control and help me feel calmer. So I just thought I'd share a few thoughts on these today. I've been using a WhatsApp group with friends to chat, and we've agreed that it's great to be honest and really share how we genuinely feel. So not putting gloss on any of our comments that we share with each other, but using that forum to really connect and support each other. And swapping over to a different colour of pen because why not? And it seems to go with the mauve in the picture. I'm just talking about using a little bit of humour from day to day, just from moment to moment, sharing videos that seem to lift our spirits, and that's a good thing. So we've been in that WhatsApp group sharing positive thoughts, sharing a little bit of humour from time to time whilst being sensitive to each other's needs, doing something that helps us break that mood sometimes. We just need something to smile at. So that's my second point and what I've been doing to help work through this challenge. And the third point that I wanted to share, which I really do hope will help you, is about stepping away from the screen. And it's what I've been doing to really guard and help my mental health. So just sharing how I've been limiting my exposure to some of the news and not sitting and reading on a screen all of those numbers all the time. Try to manage your thought processes as a result, and maybe just a little bit of breathing in, holding for 2 and breathing out for 4 seconds I find to be just quite helpful at specific moments in time. And all of this is just sitting in the context of stay at home, which is what my spread is about today. So I'm adding an easy border just to mirror the dots and dashes on the left hand side. And I wanted to add an envelope today. I find making envelopes one of the most enjoyable and relaxing activities at my craft desk. I've been playing with mica paints, making this little journaling card using what I can only describe as what looks like a super large collection of nail polishes. So I need to play with these, and if you've got suggestions as to how I might use them, I would very much welcome any ideas or recommendations of other YouTube channels, so do drop a comment down below. I'm going to be exploring how to play with these in some subsequent videos. We're going to have some fun. I'm choosing where to put the envelope, and I don't want to cover up the writing today. I want to show off the front of the envelope because there's a little bit of text on there that I like. So the black journaling card with the mica stamp and cover can go in there, and I'm adding just a few other little bits of pretty scrapbook paper which I've chosen because they make me happy and I like them. I've created an ombre journaling card, and actually there's a little bit of glitter on this too. And this was made with some new metallic acrylic paints, which I'm also going to be playing with in some subsequent videos. So I thought I would just tear those into two and pop them in the envelope. And they'd be great for making a few notes, maybe thinking what our gratitude points of the day are. We can make a list of those and put them in the envelope. So I'm feeling good about stuffing that handmade envelope with some little goodies, and I'm attaching it to the page behind so that I can see that text. The front of the envelope says good luck is better than gold, and it just felt kind of appropriate at the moment. I thought I would reflect the dots on the roofs in that spotty washi, and I like using washi, so use what you like and do what makes you happy. A little bit more with the words love on, and using one of my gel pens to just add a few dots in a sympathetic pink just to balance the pages, which I like to do. If you've enjoyed this video, then check out my other art journal spreads. I'll leave links down below, and come back next time because I'm going to be making a positivity junk journal as part of a collaboration. It's going to be fun. I hope to see you soon.